Imagine waking up in a confined space. Suddenly, your phone rings. A stranger's voice informs you that you're locked in the trunk of your own car and you have until midnight to raise 650 million won through a live stream, or face a gruesome end. Intrigued? Let's dive into the 2024 Korean thriller, Drive. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our weekly movie breakdowns and hidden gem recommendations. Now grab a snack and let's dive in. Drive kicks off with Yoo-na, a flashy and outspoken YouTuber with over 700,000 subscribers. She's built a career on bold content and brand deals, often stirring up controversy for clicks. Though she's still managed by her longtime producer Yoon-seok, tensions rise when a rival snags a major cosmetic sponsorship that was promised to her. Frustrated, Yoon-na decides to jump ship and meet with a new producer at the competitor network MBS. Exhausted, she gets into the car in the parking lot and falls asleep. When she wakes up again, she finds herself tied up in the trunk of her car. She is able to loosen her bonds and realizes that the car is moving. Then a cell phone rings and her kidnapper tells her that he wants $1,000,000 won. Otherwise, he will ditch her in a car crusher at a junkyard where no one asks any questions. Yoon-na does not have that kind of money, but the kidnapper suggests that she take her cell phone and earn the missing amount via live stream within an hour. Yoon-na transfers 350,000 won to the kidnapper, claiming it's all she has. He doesn't flinch and calmly tells her to come up with the rest in an hour. Wasting no time, she sets a timer and prepares to go live with the hashtag "Help, I'm Kidnapped." With less than a minute to spare, she dials 911, trying to alert the police. But the delay doesn't go unnoticed. Realizing she's yet to go live, the kidnapper swerves the car sharply, warning her to stick to the plan. Yoon-na quickly gives the cops the car's plate number and starts the live stream. Facing the camera, she tells her followers the truth. She's been kidnapped, and if she doesn't raise $1,000,000 won in 1 hour, she'll be killed. Her audience, used to her stunts, thinks it's just another wild prank. One viewer even jokes that she should Google how to escape from a trunk. Desperate, she does exactly that, watches a few tutorial videos and tries to follow along. She fumbles, pricks her finger, and gives up. Beaten and shaken, she turns back to the camera and starts begging for help. Out of nowhere, a viewer named The Crusader drops a 10,000 won tip and reveals he's the kidnapper. He sends chilling photos of Yoon-na inside the trunk, proving he's watching everything. Then he challenges her. Tell them who you really are. Be honest, or no one's sending money. Yoon-na nervously rambles about her life, trying to stall, but the Crusader interrupts with an old photo. Tell them who Han Jin-hee is, he says. She freezes. The name means nothing to her, or so she claims. I don't know that person, she insists, demanding the Crusader reveal himself instead. Feeling sick and desperate, Yoon-na begs him to slow the car down before she throws up. If you do, she pleads, I'll do whatever you want. As soon as the kidnapper eases off the gas, Yoon-na quietly uses a hairpin to unlock the trunk. She'd been subtly working on it the whole time. Confident, she brings the phone close and snarls, Go F yourself. Then she shoves the trunk open and sticks her head out. Caught off guard, the kidnapper slams the car in reverse, then speeds up, weaving through traffic. With her live stream still rolling, most of her viewers finally realize she's not faking. This is real. But just as hope builds, he swerves to avoid an oncoming truck. The trunk slams shut, locking Yoon-na back inside. By now, her video is going viral. The police finally start taking her case seriously and begin analyzing the situation. Soon, Officer Choi from the Seoul Police calls her directly. Exhausted and terrified, Yoon-na breaks down. What took you so long? She cries. Trying to help, Officer Choi asks her to turn on her map and share her location. He explains they can't track her properly because the car is moving too fast. But then, to her surprise, her GPS shows she's not even in Korea anymore. It reveals she's in Singapore. Shocked, Choi asks her if she knows the Crusader or anyone who might want to hurt her, personally or financially. Thinking fast, Yoon-na calls her producer, Yoon-seok, who's been trying to reach her all night. He assumes it's just another one of her signature stunts and tells her to knock it off. Frustrated, she insists, it's real. She's actually been kidnapped. Still confused, Yoon-seok asks who would go that far. Yoo-na quickly tells him to find her laptop and look for Ria's business card, one of her biggest rivals. She explained that Ria's channel was recently taken down for copyright violations, and Yoon-na had reported it. Before she can explain further, another call comes in. It's the kidnapper. Yoon-na tells Yoon-seok to call Ria immediately, then picks up. The abductor is furious. He's not impressed with her earlier stunt and orders her to get back to work, to raise his money. Trying to reason with him, Yoon-na asks if she did something to hurt him. Is this personal? Not interested in talking, he tells her to show the world who she really is, and maybe she'll walk out of this life. He reminds her she has 30 minutes left and hangs up. Shaken but determined, Yoon-na goes live again and tells her viewers, "I'm okay, for now." The Crusader continues tipping Yoon-na during the live stream, then suddenly asks her if her dad really killed himself, criticizing her for making money from the tragedy. He tips $100 and tells her he has a gift, asking her to open the trunk. When she does, she finds a severed finger and screams in horror, demanding to know why he's doing this. The kidnapper responds coldly, saying if she's done, she can just end the stream and they'll head to the junkyard. Desperate, Yoon-na apologizes and begs him not to kill her. He then offers another $100 if she eats the finger. The tip comes through and he tells viewers they've struck a deal. To her shock, many fans urged her to go through with it. Sick to her stomach, Yoon-na replies she isn't going to do it. Just then, Officer Choi calls, and Yoon-na, overwhelmed and terrified, demands to know what's taking so long. It turns out Yoon-seok later went through Yoon-na's laptop, trying to find evidence of who might have kidnapped her. While searching, a notification pops up on the screen. Officer Choi informs her that she is currently live streaming and tells her to stop the pretense. Choi reminds her that YouTubers will do anything these days to get attention, and that wasting police time is a felony. Yoon-na, growing increasingly frustrated, tries to convince him that she really was kidnapped and needs help. Officer Choi then says a reliable source reported her show as a hoax. Just then, her assistant, Yoon-seok, joins the live stream and tells everyone she's been faking it. Confused, Yoon-na asks him to explain why he thinks so and why he would tell that to the police. Yoon-seok starts by telling her she's a great liar and says he knows she went behind his back to accept a proposal from MBS, his competitor. He shows her the laptop where he found a script on her system about the kidnapping. Before she can explain, Yoon-seok also shows her a deposit of 350,000 won, claiming she was paid to stage the kidnapping. Angry that Yoon-na stabbed him in the back, Yoon-seok cuts the call before she can explain. Apparently, the whole thing had been fabricated by her abductor, so no one would believe her or come to her aid. With all hope of rescue gone, Yoon-na lies in silence as time passes. Just then, Yoon-na gets a call from a woman named Park Jung-suk, who introduces herself as a detective. She asks if Yoon-na really has been kidnapped. Too exhausted to explain again, Yoon-na drops the phone and quietly says it's true. To her relief, Detective Park says she believes her. Someone in a car behind had seen her pop out of the trunk and reported it. "I've got your location," she assures her, promising help is on the way. Surprised, Yoon-na asks how the detective knew it wasn't just another prank. Park laughs and says her teenage son is a fan, then jokingly asks Yoon-na to send her a promo shout-out after the rescue. Curious, Detective Park then asks how the kidnapper knew about her deal with MBS. That's when something clicks in Yoon-na's mind. She pauses, then says she thinks she knows who the Crusader is. Quickly, she starts tracing the payments, both the one from MBS and the ones from the Crusader, hoping they'll lead to the truth. Just as Yoon-na begins to piece things together, Detective Park suddenly cuts in. She's found a car matching the plate number. Yoon-na checks the details and confirms it's hers. Without wasting time, Park gives chase. While the chase is on, a die-hard fan known as the Revealer joins in and tells his followers that he has found Yoon-na's car. But when police finally stop and block the vehicle, Yoon-na realizes something's wrong. Her car is still moving. They got the wrong one. The Revealer messages her, apologizing for failing to help. Frustrated and running out of time, Yoon-na goes live again and declares she knows who the Crusader is. She publicly accuses the executive director of MBS, revealing that both he and the Crusader use the exact same phrase. "Be honest if you want to take people's money," each after sending her money. To prove she was telling the truth, she calls the MBS director, but to her surprise, the phone rings in the trunk. She opens it and is horrified to find the director tied up and injured. Apparently, the finger she found earlier belonged to him. Yoon-na picks up her phone and in a shaky voice shows her live viewers the body lying next to her, begging anyone watching to get her out of there. The kidnapper calls again, asking if she finally understands that this is real. Desperate, she tells him she'll do whatever he wants. He gives her two disturbing options: take off her clothes or sing, whichever the viewers choose. The audience votes for her to undress, and then she begins receiving massive tips, raising her money to 618,000 won. As she watches the tips flowing in, Yoon-na slowly unbuttons her clothes. Then she stops, and to the surprise of her viewers, she grabs a knife and suddenly stabs herself, telling the kidnapper he really doesn't know who she is. With that move, she manages to convince her old producer and the police that she isn't faking this. With time running out and no hope left, Yoon-na wraps her injured hand and tearfully apologizes to her viewers, admitting she was never honest, never truly cared about them or anyone else. She had been so obsessed with chasing success that she lost sight of everything that mattered. As she speaks from the heart, many viewers grow restless and begin leaving the stream. With just a few minutes left and still 12,000 won short, Yoon-na lies down and quietly weeps. Then out of nowhere, a former business partner sends her a 15,000 won tip and urges her not to give up, pushing her past the 650,000 won goal. Overwhelmed with relief, Yoon-na cries as the kidnapper calls to congratulate her for meeting the target. But then his tone shifts. He reminds her that she never actually apologized to him. Still emotional, Yoon-na replies softly that her apology was meant for everyone. Years ago, Yoon-na first met the Crusader during a birthday livestream. While she was celebrating with her fans, he sent her a large tip and asked her to kick everyone else out, saying he wanted some private time to tell her something important. His message came off as rude, so she blocked him. But before she could continue the show, he started spamming her with messages. It turned out he was sick and saw Yoon-na as the only person who could save him. He was an obsessive fan, but Yoon-na found his behavior disturbing. She told him to leave her alone and go kill himself. Then to humiliate him, she shared his number with her followers, encouraging them to spam and harass him. Now recalling that moment, Yoon-na tearfully asks the Crusader to forgive her, but he isn't moved. Coldly, he tells her he's not stopping the car. Yoon-na starts to panic as she realizes the Crusader never intended for her to live. Driving roughly and scraping the car, he tells her there's one final test. He says the key to the trunk is inside the stomach of the dead director lying next to her. If she wants to escape, she'll have to cut him open and retrieve it. Trembling, Yoon-na grabs the knife and arms herself. But just as she's about to cut, the director suddenly opens his eyes, and both of them scream in terror. It turns out the Crusader's real plan was to manipulate Yoon-na into killing the director. Seeing another body in the car, everyone finally believes Yoon-na, and her story makes the news. Finally convinced everything is real, Yoon-seok rushes to the police and informs them he has her location. Apparently, his phone was in Yoon-na's car, and the GPS was active. Back in the trunk, the kidnapper tells Yoon-na that only one of them is leaving the car alive. Yoon-na grabs a knife, and instead of stabbing the director, she ends the live stream and stabs the side of the trunk, spilling gasoline. She warns the driver that either he stops the car or gets blown to pieces along with her. While waiting, the police call Yoon-na to say they've identified the Crusader. However, they find it strange because the person who owns the account died a year ago. Realizing his plan is falling apart, the kidnapper panics. He wedges a rock on the accelerator and jumps out, leaving the car to speed off the road and plunge into a lake. Realizing they're about to drown, Yoon-na unties the director and notices a pass-through behind him, which they use to escape the trunk. However, scared for his life, the director pushes her aside and escapes the car, leaving her to drown. Being resilient, Yoon-na manages to escape the car and climbs up a nearby ladder. Just as she was making it, her abductor appeared and dragged her onto the bridge. Yoon-na is confused and asks him who he is. Revealing a knife, he informs her that he's the Crusader. He grabs her, but Yoon-na bites him and makes a run for it. She doesn't get far before he catches up, slams her to the ground and begins kicking her over and over. As he leans in to speak, Detective Park arrives and fires multiple shots, taking him down. She tells Yoon-na it's over and tries to help her to the car. Since Yoon-na can't walk, Park leaves her to grab something from the vehicle. Still suspicious, Yoo-na takes out the cell phone the kidnapper left her and calls his number. To her surprise, it's Detective Park's phone that rings, not the one next to the dead body. Realizing her cover was blown, Detective Park pulls a gun on Yoo-na. Through gritted teeth, she reveals the truth. Her sick son was the real crusader. He had taken his own life after Yoo-na blocked him and encouraged her fans to harass him. To him, Yoo-na felt like his first real friend, but Yoo-na never really cared. Her followers mocked him, threatened him, and tore him apart online. He couldn't handle the pressure and ended his life. Sobbing, Park says she held her son's lifeless body and made a vow. Yoo-na would pay for what she did. Just as Park is about to pull the trigger, Yoon-seok bursts onto the scene with the police. He pleads with her to lower the gun, informing her she was being streamed live. But wanting the world to believe Yoo-na was a killer, Park forces the gun into her hands, then pulls the trigger herself. The police rush in immediately, pulling Yoo-na away and getting her to safety. In the final scene, Yoo-na sits quietly beside Yoon-seok in a car, her face marked by exhaustion and relief. She thanks him for saving her life. With a faint smile, Yoon-seok hands her his phone, showing the screen. Her story has gone viral and she's just hit 1 million subscribers. And that's a wrap on the 2024 movie, Drive. What would you do if your life depended on the generosity of your subscribers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't miss our next video as we dive into the 5 movies that show why you should never mess with a mom. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more in-depth movie analysis. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.